All right, today we are building a countertop. We are renovating the bathroom upstairs and we want to do a scrap wood countertop. I have a bunch of scrap shitty wood, and particularly this old maple that was used about 100 years ago for a dock up at our cottage. My great-grandfather purchased, and it's been stored up there for about 80 years. And we're going to see what I can do to make a countertop out of it. The first thing I need to do is pull all the rusty old nails and other debris from these boards. Like I said, they were used as a dock up at the cottage for about 20 years, from 1928 to 1948. And they were simply nailed together and put on wooden horses out into the dock. So there's a bunch of old iron nails that need to get pulled, and just to make sure that there's no other debris that's in there, I'm going to give it a real quick look over every side, all sides. It's going to be run through the saw and the planers, and in order to preserve my tools, I really hope to get all the metal out. Now, as you can see, the board isn't sitting exactly flat, so I'm going to rip it into 2-inch strips approximately, over and over and over, and then I'll start shaping it and planing it on the planer. Now what you get with this old maple is the spalting effect, which is rot throughout the grain, but it makes a really cool, interesting pattern. So now that we have all of the boards ripped, we need to ensure that they are square with each other so that we can properly glue them together. And we are going to use a jointer for this. I am taking a square to make sure that it is a perfect right angle before I run the pieces through. After each board is run through the jointer, I run it through the planer to make sure that all dimensions are equal. This is the finished piece. It is 1.25 inches thick. It is, haven't measured it yet, 1 7/8 wide. And it is straight as one could expect from a 100-year-old rotten maple. Just used over water. So this is how it started, and this is how it's going to finish. I got to do all of these like this. But the best thing, just look at that. Beautiful spalting, which is essentially rot in the wood. This wood was left out in the elements, and it started to rot. And when you cut through that rot, this is what it looks like. It can also be too far and essentially start disintegrating like this is. This is just sort of crumbling. I'm hoping to save some of this because there is some nice spalting behind it, but it's starting to chip away right here, and I don't know. Well, starting to chip away right here. I don't know if this is going to be salvageable or not, but we'll see. So I need to mill all of these pieces to the same dimensions as this one, and I don't suppose.
So apparently I'm missing the footage where I finished the boards and glued them together. But as you can see, they have been milled to the same dimensions and glued together. What I'm doing now is, if you recall the heavily rotted areas, those have caused some holes and divots in the wood, and I'm using them to my advantage by filling them with epoxy resin. The epoxy, I believe, is a 6-to-1 mix, and each pump is the correct measurement between the resin, which is what I'm adding now, and the hardener, which is the smaller container. The resin is clear and will allow the spalting and the rotted wood to show through. And after I thoroughly mix it, I will pour and fill the holes, which might need a couple of applications.